And Brent's response to the theme was, my dad was active with me in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, teaching me to love, respect, care for, and enjoy the wilderness. When I'm camping now, I recalled his many wise lessons and innate enthusiasm for the great outdoors. Evaluating Brent will be Don Lehman. Don, will you please share Brent's goals for the speech today?
I certainly will. We are fortunate to have Brent step in, as Brooke said, for Liz Rutschlitz. He made a trip back from his property in Colorado Springs just to be with us today, so we're very grateful for that. His speech will be 6 to 8 minutes. His objectives are to help the audience identify or resonate with something that he is going through, to see if he can help us maybe get through some of those same kinds of emotions. He will be using visuals, props, non-PowerPoint visuals, and we can also look to see how effective those might be. 6 to 8 minutes.
Unmute. Mr. Brent Green, throwing my life away. Throwing my life away, Brent Green.
And Brooke, can we get the 6 to 9 like we discussed?
We can do 6 to 9.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, good morning, fellow Toastmasters. And in getting ready to do what effectively is a hot speech, I decided that in the true spirit of Toastmasters, I should think about what it really means to be a Toastmaster with a vintage 2019 Cabernet Sauvignon, mellow and rich. Let's talk about what I've been throwing away. Since the beginning of the pandemic, I have been routinely and systematically throwing everything that represents my career away. In fact, today, Thursday, is trash day, and out there is an entire trash receptacle full of stuff to throw away. And it's somewhat of a process that's difficult, because I've been in the advertising business and we're big on having samples of what we do. Part of it's ego, but a lot of it is, if I do something for this company and can show them to another company, it gives me a better shot. So for example, I'm a person with many projects. And at one time in my career, I created this. It's called Face Man. And it's a aftershave balm for men. Logan, you would have a lot more luminous skin if you'd been wearing Face Man for the last 10 years, but it's gone. I've gotten rid of that, boxes of it, very difficult to do. I also have done a project where I created a pocket guide for people who want to deal with media interviews. Well, today people want digital versions. They want PDFs. They don't care about a printed pocket version. So say goodbye to a couple of thousand of those. I've done hundreds of projects for companies, large and small, both here in the Colorado, but all over the United States and in Europe. One I did was this, and it is a capabilities brochure for our Toastmasters former alma mater, Luan and Associates, where I actually put together a description of what this company offers. It's a very complicated piece. I saved a copy for you, Brooke, if you'd like one, but if not, we can throw that away too. To make it easier to understand what I'm dealing with, a few weeks ago, I took a couple of boxes outside by the trash, Williams printing on them. They were pretty heavy. And then I came back inside my house and I kind of thought and walked around and stewed and got nervous. And then I finally said, I can't throw those away. I went back out and got the boxes and brought them back into the house. Let me take you back to February the 28th, 1986. That was the day before I started my company. And although I don't consider myself truly an alcoholic, I was definitely self-medicating. So I said to myself, you're going to do this right, Green. You're going to focus. You're going to work your butt off. You are going to eliminate any distractions. So I stopped drinking on that night. I had a Cabernet Sauvignon, finished off a bottle, and that was it. About 3 months later, in June of '86, my brother-in-law gave me a call on the phone, and he said, Brent, I think your sister's hit the wall. She's now drinking tequila for breakfast. We need to do something. So we decided that we needed to do an intervention. And we convinced my sister to come to Colorado and go to a treatment facility called the ARC outside of Colorado Springs. And part of that journey was a family therapy component. And so I sat through family therapy sessions with my sister. She quickly understood the danger she was in, and that was it. She stopped drinking and didn't touch anything for 30 years. It reinforced my decision that this might be a good thing for me to do too. That I needed to, there were members of the family that were already known alcoholics. It's in the DNA. So it reinforced my decision to continue and not drink anymore. About 4 years later, I had a very hip, outstanding graphic designer. And we were sitting around talking about recovery, since some of our friends were going through recovery. And he said, everything that you can find that deals with alcoholism is maudlin, old-fashioned, kind of stodgy. So could we do something better? And what I did was come up with an idea that we could create greeting cards for people in recovery. This is a set of 8. For example, the one that says 1 on it is step 1 in the recovery program. I wrote, in the admission of powerlessness, we shall find enduring strength. Step 1. So there were cards from the first 4 steps, but there were others to encourage people to keep going, such as this one. Together, we make it one day at a time. Or this one. One day at a time just became another year, wishing you 365 days of hope. So now that we created this, and we called our company Day Beams, taking off on the one day at a time theme, Day Beams needed to get these out into the market. Well, how are you going to do that? Everybody that's an Alcoholic Anonymous is by choice anonymous. Fortunately, there is an organization in Minnesota that has a mailing list. It's called Hazelton, and they sell these kind of products. So we were able to put our cards into the Hazelton catalog for several years and sell several thousand of these gift sets. I came back into my house again, thinking about what am I going to do with these boxes? I can't throw them away. I can throw everything else in my life away, and I have, but I can't throw this away. So I had an epiphany, and that epiphany was very simply, I'm going to give these cards to a treatment facility to give to their clientele, to give them something to offer encouragement to their comrades going through the 12-step program and alcohol treatment. Throwing my life away continues. I have boxes and stuff out by the driveway right now. And you know something, you're not just throwing away your stuff, you're throwing away your dreams, your appointments, your hard work, your frustrations, occasionally your recognition by peers. I've been honored to receive 50 of those awards. And it's difficult to say the chapters of my life are closing, but someday all of us are going to need to do that in some way or fashion. So, fellow Toastmasters, I'd like to give myself a toast. I'm giving myself a toast for 35 years alcohol-free. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Brent. Fabulous. Mr. Timer, will you please give us 60 seconds for evaluations?